Aaron Weis, you're the Department of Navy Chief Information Officer. You said that the network may actually be hurting the Navy. Could you elaborate a bit on how that is so, please?
I think the network is the critical capability that allows us to fulfill that vision of being able to move any information to anywhere for the service of our sailors and Marines. Mm-hmm. And if the network isn't working for you, it's your prime limiter. And I believe that that's where we are today.
It's actually hurting, actually holding them back?
I believe it is.
Is that a reflection of just how important information has become to today's modern Navy?
I think it's a reflection of how important information is to the warfighter, coupled with a reflection of the state of our network in terms of being able to sustain performance, reliability, and usability.
Okay, you've identified a problem. Now, how do you fix that on the move? You can't call time out in global crises and say, let us fix our network, stay in your ports. You have to do that and be ready to fight tonight if necessary. How do you address that? And of course, it has to be done rapidly.
Yep. So that is the key question, right? How do we envision the future state, the should-be network, bring that about, and then make the move to that network without tearing down capability that we have today? I think to start off, working together with the CTO, Jane Rathbun, and her teams, we have kicked off in the last month, actually just a little bit more than a month ago, we kicked off the future digital architecture teams who are looking at that should-be network state. They're looking at a number of should-be states for the CTO, but the most important and first of which is the architecture of the network. The intent is that we lay down that architecture and then work with our providers to actually migrate to it versus trying to transform the architecture that we have in place.
How much of the network modernization will be network as a service versus actual acquisition? I get the sense you want to move more towards services provided by others. Could you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, when we launched the network modernization teams, they asked me questions like that. So how much do you want us to include as a service versus home operated? You know, I told them that they should be unburdened and unbundled in their thinking. And at this point, I want them to consider all the options. My past tells me that as a service is a great adjunct, although I think from a Navy perspective, Navy Marine Corps perspective, there's probably a core element that we're going to have. Yeah. But then we should be able to leverage as a service to be able to amplify that capability.
What would you say are the key technologies and capabilities you will need to both modernize and innovate?
I think the key technologies under modernize are, like we talked about, network, modern network, infrastructure and capability. The second is doing modern network allows us to fully leverage cloud. We have to be able to leverage a cloud-based infrastructure, especially if we're going to be able to do as a service and items like that. And also cloud is going to be an enabler for us to do software development, the DevSecOps, software development at speed. So cloud, network, cloud, and then third leg of modernization is identity. So modern identity management. From an innovate perspective, that's I think where DevSecOps, user-based design comes into play. And so this is how do we build on that modernized infrastructure with a DevSecOps approach that allows us to deliver innovative software at speed that can be accredited at speed because we trust the network, we trust the cloud-based infrastructure and the development approach.
Many people say the cloud will be essential to the development of good AI. Do you concur with that? And if so, what role do you see AI playing in the near future?
Sure. I think absolutely cloud is essential to AI. If you look at the DoD CIO digital modernization vision, they actually show that they position it as AI builds on cloud in terms of capability. I think cloud solves for AI the problem of unlimited compute. So you effectively can create unlimited compute with the cloud, and the cloud also helps solve for AI the problems of data aggregation, data management with the massive amounts of data that AI requires.
What can sailors and Marines expect from the coming modernization and innovation that you'll be implementing in the Navy?
Well, I think first and foremost, they should expect a network that's there when they need it, that supports productivity approaches and software that they can use, that they don't have to work around, and to be able to rely on that. I think then the second level will be that network will enable us to start to do things like providing contextual information ready for warfighters to decide and act versus just independent streams of data that they're attempting to integrate. And then the third level, or kind of third order, would be the future capabilities that leverage technologies, enabling technologies that we build on top of that infrastructure.
Okay. Myron Weis, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll all wish you best of luck on your endeavors. This has been a Signal Media video with Aaron Weis, the Don CIO.